was to kind of give you like tips and tricks, I guess, on certain things, because like I said, I have a good amount of mental health issues. So I just feel like listening to other people's stories just makes you feel less alone. And I personally, I know for me, I've listened to so many people's psych award stays or first time, they did certain things, and all of that has helped me with my mental health journey. So here I am. This is the longest intro ever, so let's just get started. Okay, so before I get started with telling like my story, I'm just gonna, I guess, like tell you the mental illness that I have first, and then tell you the story. Yeah, I think that'll be like easy. Okay. I have social anxiety, separation anxiety, generalized anxiety. I have major depressive disorder. I have Tourette's syndrome. I have ADHD. I have autism. I have an eating disorder. And I'm trying to think. Oh, and I have rejection sensitive dysphoria. Yeah. I also had a couple of other things listed on my report, because I did go in for an examination or whatever, and I had social phobia as well as like other things, but I think social phobia is basically like social anxiety, so that's like the same thing, right? I don't know. But yeah, so that 9 like clinically diagnosed disorders. So basically it all really started from my birth, actually. I did not have a natural or like normal birth. I'm not gonna get into it, but let's just say I didn't come into this world with mommy, daddy. Does that make sense? There's a lot, and it's honestly, I'm gonna cry if I talk about it, so I'm just not gonna talk about it. But let's just say that I had a traumatic birth, but not in a way where like my birth went wrong, more in a way as in like mommy daddy dynamics and parental that stuff went wrong, if you get me. Anyways, because of that, I had my entire life, they basically say fight or flight. I've been in therapy, so this is how they kind of explained it to me. It's like fight or flight. So I have really horrible trust issues. I keep everything to myself, like everything to myself, which can be very scary for myself as well as people around me. Experienced my first ever depression when I was 12 years old, and it was due to a really depressed. I'll just say I was really depressed, and my mind was in a very dark place. And I remember I got ready for school, and I went up to the school bus, and it stopped, and it opened the doors and let me in. I stared at the school bus, turned around, and just ran. I bolted. I ran behind, like, our house, and I was just, like, freaking out. I didn't know what was happening. Panic attacks are pretty scary if you've ever experienced one, and especially, it was my first one, so I've never felt anything like it. It literally, I felt like I was dying. Like, I thought I was having a heart attack. Like, it was scary. And it was also in public. It was outside. It was a lot. And it also was embarrassing because I just ran away from my bus. Like they literally opened the doors and I ran away. Like, that's so embarrassing. Anyways, I then called my mom. I was like, hey mom, I didn't go on the bus. I'm not ever planning to go on the bus. This is how I feel, blah, blah, blah. Can we talk when you get home? And she was like, alright. Basically, she came home and we had a conversation, and let's just say I said things. I threatened certain things to myself, not like to other people, but to myself. It sounds so messed up, honestly, saying it now, but I was 13, no, 14. I was 14 and in a very dark place, just had my first panic attack. I didn't know what was happening. And I basically said that if you don't put me in homeschooling, then, or like online school, then I would dip from the world, basically, is what I was saying. And I was also just like completely degrading myself. It was really bad. I'll just say that. And that was my first ever experience with my first ever panic attack. So then I did homeschooling for a long time, but my mental health just like wasn't getting better. My mom noticed, so we ended up going to my family doctor, and he put me on some anxiety medication, which I can't even tell you how much anxiety medications I've been on. Honestly, probably, I want to say like 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. I think that sounds pretty good, like 8, 9, 10, around there. I've tried that many different ones because it's quite common, but it's an annoying process, and it's already been like 3 years. And that was in like 2020, and then I went to therapy for the first time in 2022. Yeah, 2022, October. And that whole situation was crazy because basically my brother's school, he has autism, and they wanted him to go and get like therapy, and like the therapy thing was like at a hospital. I think that's what it is, a referral. You get the referral from the hospital. So yeah, you had to go get a referral for therapy. My mom was like, I'm gonna put you into therapy too because this is getting bad and you need therapy. And I was like, okay, good, sounds great. And basically at the hospital, you have to like sign, like you have to like do like a whole bunch of, they ask you all the questions. I'm sure if you've been in therapy and all the questions they ask you. And that was when I revealed for the first time that I have tried to leave. And that was so hard because that was something that I kept a secret. Like I said, I keep everything to myself. So, and that was in October, and I had done it in June. Now I'm not gonna explain how I did it because there's no reason to. All I'm gonna say is that it was unsuccessful. And I woke up just in shock. That was really, really dark. I just remember waking up and being like, what the? I can't do anything right. This story is all over the place. I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah. After I went to she told me that I need to get a psychiatrist. So now this is the first time I ever went to a psychiatrist. And basically, I feel like everyone knows what a psychiatrist is, but just in case you don't know what a psychiatrist is basically just someone that provides you medication. But they could provide you way more than like a family doctor would, if that makes sense. Because they're like professionals in that. Hopefully that makes sense. I feel like everyone knows what that is, but just in case, I don't know. So then I got a psychiatrist, and she was like, I can't give you any medication because you're not diagnosed with anything. Like I can't legally give you a medication that I think you would need unless you are diagnosed with the disorder, which it makes sense, whatever. So then I had to, and this was when this was in when was this? It was last year in November, I think. Yeah, last year in November. So not that long ago, not even a year ago, not even 6 months ago. Wait, has it been 6 months? Time's flying by. Oh my god. It was in November. Anyways, so basically in there I did the 4-hour testing to get all my diagnoses, which is, I already laid that out, all my diagnoses. The 3 anxieties, depression, eating disorder, autism, Tourette's. I was already diagnosed when I was 8 years old. I didn't really get into that because, I don't know, like Tourette's is like a different kind of mental illness. I mean, it still affects me, but I feel like that's kind of niche. I don't know if I can give you tips and tricks on Tourette's. I'm pretty sure most of you don't have Tourette's. It was actually, I really want to talk about something that was huge for me, and that was denial. When I was diagnosed with autism, I was like, there's no way I'm autistic. Like, there's no way I'm autistic. And then I looked around and I realized you definitely are. This is my computer that I built on a hyperfixation, and I haven't used it in like 4 months. Because I do things like that. So yeah, I don't know, this video is like really messy because, like I said, I have 9 mental health disorders, so I don't really know how to like tell you my story without me sitting here for 10 hours straight. I also have an alcoholic stepdad, which is pretty important. I didn't really mention that, but it's hard to like, I can't tell you my whole life story, it's gonna take forever. Actually, me and my stepdad haven't talked in 2 weeks now, almost 3 weeks, and we live under the same roof. Let's just say things got intense, and he said some things. Basically along the lines of, I'm a worthless human being, and God, you know, those are things that I think about myself, you know, but I've never had anyone straight up tell me, you are worthless, you're
So I'm editing this video, and I also want to mention that she would also, like, she stuck the middle finger at me, and she made my, like, 6-year-old, 7-year-old brother also stick the middle finger at me. She would blame me for absolutely everything that went wrong. If an item was missing, which it wasn't missing. She's just old. Anyways, it was missing. She would blame it on me and say that I'm the one that did it. She was just a really cruel person in general, but yeah, those are just some of the things. So I just wanted to mention that.
I have a lot of daddy issues, if you didn't realize. I have a biological dad, and then another dad is my birth certificate, and then another dad that is my stepdad, so, and now I have 0 because they're all gone. And to a certain point, you're like, well, if all these people are leaving me, is it me? But at the end of the day, I'm a child. You know, I was a baby when the first 2 left. And then this one, you know, he was the closest thing I had to a dad. And I really did think of him as my dad for many years. So for him to, you know, say those things was kind of wild.
So I ran out of storage, and now I'm editing this video, and I'm just gonna add this outro because I ran out of storage. I just want to say that sorry that I got really emotional at the end. Also, I wasn't able to cover everything. Like, I really wanted to talk about my rejection sensitive dysphoria because that makes me feel like a crazy person, and I really wanted to talk about it, but I just didn't have time, and I don't want to make this video 40 minutes long. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll make another video. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But yeah, thank you for watching. Also, like I said, sorry that I got emotional towards the end. It almost turned into a therapy session. So sorry about that. But yeah, it does help to, like, talk sometimes, just let it all out. I honestly recommend it for you as well if you're someone who deals with it. You don't have to send it to anyone, just record yourself and just let it all out. It honestly feels really good. So yeah, bye.